when I was a kid. And number three, to make America healthy again, to end the chronic disease epidemic. And President Trump has told me that he wants to see measurable, concrete results within 2 years in terms of a measurable diminishment in chronic disease among America's kids.
So is that specific role to be the Secretary of Health?
I don't know. We have not decided yet what my official role is going to be.
What did you tell him you would like that role to be?
That's why I didn't tell him. I've told him that I want to think about it.
So in that capacity, though, you feel confident that you have been given the assurance that you would be able to have an actual role in the administration that would allow you to make those sorts of decisions?
Yeah, absolutely. He's asked me to do that. President Trump is very committed to this issue. And he was committed to it before I came on board. In fact, he called me in 2016 when he won, and he wanted to do something like this back then. And for a variety of reasons, we ended up not doing it. But as far back as June of this year, he was doing tweets that looked like I had written them, talking about chronic disease and the necessity, how debilitating it is for our country. When my uncle was president, 6% of our kids had chronic disease. Today, it's 60%. When my uncle was president, 3% of Americans were obese. Today, it's about 70% obese or overweight. In other countries that don't have all these poisonous foods, like Japan, it's still 3%. And when my uncle was president, I was a 10-year-old boy. We spend zero on chronic disease in this country. Today, we spend $4.3 trillion. So it's 5 times our military budget. It's existential for our country. 77% of American kids cannot qualify for military service because of chronic disease diagnosis. We have to put an end to this.
Would you like to be nominated to be the Secretary of Health and Human Services?
Like I said, I don't know if that's the post that I want. I may be more effective in the White House as a health czar or something like that, but we don't know. We haven't decided. We're meeting today on these issues.
Would that be ideally looking over the 13 health agencies that fall under HHS?
Well, that would be one way to do it. There's other ways to do it, too.
You said you're meeting with now President-elect Donald Trump here this afternoon.
I'm meeting with his team, with his senior team today.
What is your plan these next 3 months?
I plan to spend a lot of time in Palm Beach over the next 3 months meeting with the team, putting together. We have a 30-day plan, we have a 60-day plan, and we have a 190-day plan. There are things that we want to get done very quickly.
Have you been given assurance that you would have a staff even?
Yeah, I will. And I don't want to talk about specifics about what the administration
Well, then what is your plan come day one? What is at the top of your list that you want to make sure you, with the power, you've watched a lot of administrations over the course of the last several decades. What do you want come January 2025 to do on day one?
I'm going to do things that clean up the corruption in the agency. That's the real, we have 1,000 ingredients in our food that are illegal in Europe, that are illegal in other countries, and they're making our kids sick.
So does that mean seeking like lawsuits?
They're there because of corruption in our agencies.
Does that mean using the agencies to ban those products in
There's
U.S.
a lot
food
of different
supply?
ways to do it. And I've talked very extensively about that on podcasts, et cetera.
So you would potentially seek to do that?
What my job is not to do as little top-down control as possible and just get good information to the American people. So we don't have good science because the agencies deliberately don't do that science because they don't want people to know what they're eating. What I'm going to do is make sure that Americans have good information, the best gold standard science about their food and medicines, and then leave the choice to them.
You have been a crusader